Hey, welcome to the show, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. This is Coach James Short, aka Shorty, and this is a show for those within the real estate industry wanting to lead and grow their real estate business. It's a series of interviews that we conduct for those within the industry. So we're finding out what those leaders are within the industry, what makes them tick, what's their story, what are their strategies, and how to become the leaders and the growers within the industry. But also, it's an interview series with those outside of the industry. I'm always a big believer of looking at a whole different part of the pie rather than just focusing on one part of the pie. Because what it does, it allows you to have a different perspective, allows you to get snippets or golden nuggets from those outside of the industry that can look into the industry and go, there's a different perspective. And so I encourage you to reach out to the guests. I encourage you to lean into these series to find out how can these pieces of information, experiences, stories help you lead and grow your real estate business. Welcome back to another edition, and it is an honor and a privilege to have the man at the moment, the legend himself, back again for round two. I'm excited. Mr. Andrew Stokes has been a dedicated real estate professional since 2014 with a strong focus on providing exceptional service and a positive experience for every client. From the very beginning of his career, Andrew has believed that real estate is not just about transactions, it's about building relationships and acting as a trusted advisor for his clients. He understands that selling property is not a numbers game, but a people-centric process, which sets him apart from many other agents. This philosophy has played a significant role in Andrew's success, establishing him as one of the leading agents in the Camden Haven area of New South Wales. From the moment you meet Andrew, his energy and positive attitude are unmistakably. That's bloody for sure. Can't wait to have a laugh with him. His commitment to making a lasting impact on those he meets extends beyond real estate as he actively involved in several local community groups, including Hastings Rotary, the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, and various sporting clubs throughout the Camden Haven area. Andrew is passionate about being part of the Lifestyle Group, a company he admires for its modern approach to real estate. Lifestyle Group is all about providing agents with the best tools and resources to deliver exceptional results for our clients, he says. The focus is not only achieving the best possible outcomes for clients, but also ensuring agents maintain their physical, mental, and business health to perform at their peak. With a deep commitment to both his clients and the community, Andrew's professional approach and personal dedication make him a standard agent in the Camden Haven region. Honor and a privilege to have him back on the show. Mr. Stokes, how are you, legend?
Fantastic, Shorty. Feeling good.
Feeling good,
Thank you for
mate.
having me back.
Well, how could I not? How could I not? Mate, what's been happening since the last time since the last time we spoke? What have been some of the wins that you've had over the last couple of months?
Uh, Mate, we've seen some really tremendous growth within our, not just the lifestyle group. Obviously, that's something that's fully morphing and growing every week. But within my personal team, Haley, who works for me, we've got a really strong team at the moment, and we bounce off each other, and we're only getting better and better. So that's really exciting. Yeah, we actually did some review being the end of the financial year at the moment, looking at the past 3 years for our business. So Haley's been working alongside me for 3 years, and each year consecutively we've increased our business quite substantially. So it's really exciting to see the stuff that we're doing and implementing is having a really strong effect. And the trajectory that we're on, I'm really pleased with. So it's really exciting.
Legend, mate. Well done. And that's one of the things uncover today in this second round podcast, a little bit different from our first one. We go a little bit deeper in a couple of different topics. And one of the topics I want to bring up is around that direction, drive, and staying focused. I mean, you've just mentioned there, like the last 3 years growth on each year, which has been huge. What is for you that drive, that direction and staying focused? If you were to define that, what is it to you?
I think for me, and I've something I struggle with, obviously, working alongside you and with other people in the industry and mentors, is having a strong direction, like what you can call it what you want, whether it be a purpose or a reason for what you're doing. The three are really linked. So as long as you've got a strong enough reason or direction, and the clarity and the clear vision is there, then the team They know where they're going, where you're steering the ship, and that's sort of my role um, as the lead agent, is to sort of set that vision and make sure it's clear enough for everyone to see, and also to ensure that it's sort of everyone has the drive. And when I say drive, I mean sort of that inner sense of fulfillment in what they're doing in their role. So without that, I don't think you've got a strong enough drive. I've always been a big believer in doing something not just for the sake of it, but because you believe in it and you enjoy it. Um, if you've got the direction, the vision, which leads to the drive, it makes it a lot easier to stay focused. Everyone sort of gets off track a little bit at times, and I know one of my mentors always says, when you sort of shift your focus and you're maybe not on it at that stage, it's sort of how quickly the really great business people bounce back quickly. So they move on, whether it be you've been rejected from a sale or whatever it may be, or something doesn't go your way. It's how quickly you can bounce back and then sort of gain momentum again.
Love it. Love it. And I want to sort of capture that. Where do you think most people fall down? Is it not bouncing back quickly? Is it what else do you see out there when people drop the ball in relations to this direction, drive, and staying focused? Where do they just don't get it right?
Yeah, so I think two big things. One being not discussing and not making the vision or that vision clear enough for everyone involved in the business to go, okay, well that's what we're doing it, and linking it back to why should they do that? Why should they buy into that dream? What are the benefits for them, whether it be financial or lifestyle is a big one. I think that's coming more and more into businesses. Um, Funnily enough, the business name's Lifestyle, but
Funny that.
yeah, a little plug. But yeah, it's sort of how is the drive and the vision? What is it for them, and why is it important for them to buy into it? Because without really a team that's bought into the vision, it's very lonely to be doing the business by yourself. Um, Another thing that I think a lot of people do, and I'm guilty of it, as you know, mate, is that comparison. Is comparing yourself to someone who's not in your shoes, or possibly been in the industry longer, or not even longer, but just kicking some goals, and you're sort of comparing yourself to them when, really the only person you should be comparing yourself to is you 12 months ago or you 6 months ago, whatever it may be. So how can you get that little bit better, which is what we've been focusing on probably past 3 years in particular.
Love it. So take me through the process. Like, I'll paint the picture. You've fallen off the wagon, you're frustrated, you're spinning your wheels, you're comparing, you're down the rabbit hole. How do you do your reset? What do you do personally to ensure that you then go, okay, things need to change. I need to get back into the direction, the drive, and staying focused. What's your strategy and how do you go about
Yeah. Well, it happens fairly regularly.
it?
No.
You are
Something
human.
that's
We all do it, right? We all do it.
But look, I think the first big thing is knowing you're off track, is going, I'm off track here. I'm not doing the things that I should be doing. And whether it be energy's low or whatever it may be, it's sort of identifying it first, things first, identify what it is, and then going, okay, well, what area is it? Is it maybe I'm feeling disconnected from, my family, or I'm feeling like, whatever it may be, your health isn't the greatest at that stage. And then it's setting out some clear routines that, I'm big on routine, and it's sort of how can I build that into my routine so that I can build back quicker rather than being stuck in that lull. A big thing for me is once you recognize it as well, I'll sort of seek out, I've got key mentors and people in my life where whether it might be something personal, I might come to you, or if it's a business related thing, I might go to Dave or whoever it may be in my life that's a mentor. And a lot of the time, you already know what you've got to do. It's just sort of hearing it from another perspective or another set of, someone else, to sort of help you then go, okay, well, this is what I need to do. And it sort of creates a bit of a reality check for me as well, because everyone can get caught in their own head. And it allows you to sort of almost have a bit of accountability to a certain degree to that person. And really bounce back and create some steps, some easy steps to start building back rather than just sitting sitting and feeling sorry for yourself.
I love that. And so just to summarize that is one is to being aware that you're in the funk. Two is then to start to look at your activity and your routines, which I want to unpack in a minute. And then the other component is to lean into some mentors that you may have around you to have that accountability, to get some further guidance and that structure moving forward.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Love it. So talk to me about let's unpack routines, because I know that's important for you and some of the success that you've had. What type of routines do you think are important for you and what you've got and what you've achieved? And how have you set those routines?
Sure. So I think a morning routine, everyone talks about it, is a huge thing for me. It sort of gets the engine sort of slowly warmed up for the day. Now,
Like a diesel,
yeah,
engine.
I'm a bit of an old diesel engine, mate. It takes me a while to get going. But yeah, it's sort of having that morning routine, right? For me, has changed. You know, it used to be a really strong exercise in the morning. Now it's I walk my dog, which for me is a really slow start, but it's a bit of exercise, gets it moody, but it also connects me to, you know, why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm walking through a beautiful area. I'm looking at the river, whatever it may be. It sort of allows me to start my day with a really strong base level and build from there. So a morning routine is really strong, good brekking, all that sort of stuff. And then when you get into your work, mate, like I'm in real estate, obviously. So sort of when I get in on a Monday, for instance, today, I'm a bit old school. I'll write everything out. What am I got to do for the day? Where am I at? And I have set things for each day. So my routine is Monday. It might be, okay, I'm going to do the best buyer work in the history of the world. That's my mentality. The Tuesday is I'm going to do the best, you know, vendor work or prospective vendor work and prospecting. That's what each day is set. So I'm not chopping and changing. And then a big thing which I've started to try to learn is that decompress when you get home. It's sort of you come home, and for me, you know, switching my mind off is really difficult. Being with emails and everything on my phone, it's sort of okay. Well, at 7 o'clock or 7:30, whatever time it might be, is okay. I'm no longer doing work stuff. It's time for me to sort of start to wind down and sort of disconnect from that in a way. And then yeah, have my nighttime routine, making sure I get enough sleep and all that sort of stuff. So that morning and afternoon routine is big for me. And then yeah, the day, having a key objective for the day, whether it be I'm doing buyer work today and I'm going to do it really, really well, or I'm going to do some vendor work and I'm going to deal with those potential vendors and I'm going to do a really good job with that. So my mental state's focused. It's got a clear direction
I
each
love
day.
that. I love that because it's really getting into what are the characteristics we need to step into for that type of work, right? So you're in that, as you said, you're in that flow and you know what you need to do. If it's buyer work, vendor work, whatever it is that you need to do. One of the things that you mentioned is the nighttime ritual and ensuring that you decompress from that workday. What are some of the things that you're finding easier to do, and what are some of the things that you're still finding challenging to do? Because I know sometimes we have the intention of getting home from work and putting the phone down or whatever it may be, but it's that oh that's right, I forgot about that. How do you manage all that? Hey guys, just a little side note here. How's it going? Are you on track this year? I know that sometimes this part of the year we can feel like we're in a bit of a grind, a bit of in the trenches. Are you on track from the original plans that you set out for the rest of this year? What I've realized is that with this time of year, we get so distracted and we've got trying to chase so many shiny balls and go down so many rabbit holes. And that's why I created a program called the 90. It's a framework that actually allows you to achieve more in 90 days than ever before. Some of the feedback that we've got from some of the people that have used the process, the 90, is that they've achieved more in 90 days than the whole previous year. So if you'd like to have the tools, have the techniques, have the framework on the 90, so you and your team can achieve more in 90 days than ever before. What it does, it impacts you of how to get clear, what you need to do, and who you need to be to show up in order to achieve the things you want to achieve over the next 90 days. Simply head over to jamesshort.com.au, click on join the waitlist, fill in your details, and one of the team members will be in touch and take you through the 90 framework. On with the show.
I think for me, I actually, so I don't sleep with my mobile phone in my bedroom. So, and
Good.
I actually don't have a TV in my bedroom anymore. So everything's out in the kitchen area. So when I put my phone on charge, it's on charge and it's on silent. So I'll get a full night's sleep. It's really important that I do that now. And when I wake, that affects my morning routine because when I wake up, I'm not checking my phone straight away. I wake up, and I look out the window and go, is it a nice day or whatever it is. So it's sort of allowing me to disconnect for that little bit longer and not be the last thing I'm doing is looking on my phone or scrolling or whatever it may be. But also, yeah, keeping that out in the kitchen allows that disconnection to a certain degree. But I've got a notepad that I actually have in the kitchen as well. So as I said, I write everything down. So if something springs to mind, I'll either email myself, so it's out of my head, or I'll write it down. So I've got a list straight away for the next day and I can deal with it then. Because in reality, like I'm not dealing with life or death, although it'd be very, very important things in people's lives selling their family home. No one's going to, have a health issue at eight
Lose a
o'clock at
kidney.
night. Yeah, no one's going to lose a kidney because I haven't emailed them back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's so important. So important. Now, part of that is you mentioned Haley and the team, but what's your understanding around team building? What are some of the things that when you hear the word team building, what comes up for you and how do you do it?
So, I think the first thing, so I've done real estate by myself and I've done it in a team. When you're in a team, it's a lot more fun. There's a lot more fun. Um, for me, it is a huge responsibility because you've got someone's livelihood that you're sort of responsible for. But it's definitely worth it to be able to help someone grow as a person, but also as a business, in business is really, really rewarding. It's actually more rewarding than doing it yourself. So, the growth that I've seen in my team um, has been an awesome experience comparing what they were like when they might have first started, or 12 months ago or 6 months ago, whatever it may be. So that's something we do fairly regularly is, hey, how would you rate yourself compared to 3 to 6 months ago on speaking on the phone to clients or being face to face with clients? And then it's sort of that, oh my God moment of, oh wow, we're really doing well or we're on a really good track. So when it comes to team building, it's sort of making sure that you're constantly working on something to grow the individual. So whether it be so phone manner or whatever it is, as long as we're constantly growing, and then also checking and going, hey, we're making progress here, and they're comfortable with that. But also making sure, as I said earlier, the direction, the purpose, the vision, the whole business is relayed to them, and you've talked to them about it. Hey, why do you feel that might be important to you? Or what are you looking to achieve about working here? What do you want to, what's the end goal? Do you want to make money? Then that's fantastic. You can make great money. And this is how we can do it and comfortable with that. Or you want to have a really big impact on the community. That's even better. Great. How do we go about that? And how can the business help you to get to that stage where you're achieving those goals?
Wow. Some awesome questions there because that's really stepping into coaching, isn't it? Your team members and getting clarity of what they want and helping them to achieve that. And then when they achieve that, the byproduct of that is then the business unit wins and then the client wins. So it's a really nice circular way of everyone winning and everyone achieving.
100%. Yeah, it's so important. And that's something I've obviously learned from you and others is if you can link it all, everyone's
Game
really happy
changer.
with it. Yeah, everyone's really happy in the business. The clients are really serviced really well. And coming into work isn't, oh, I've got to go to work. It's, I get to go to work today. I get to go see the team. We wonder what we're going to do today. Like we have a lot of fun. But we're really focused on doing a fantastic job so that we can all achieve what we want to achieve.
Yeah, so true. Now, I want you to take me back to the first time that you're about to take on that first person. What was going through your mind, if you could, I mean, probably lots of thoughts, but
Yeah.
what was going through your mind about should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And then what helped you to make that decision?
Yeah, so I was probably in a bit of a unique. situation when I put my first on I was lucky enough to have someone come on board. I was pretty much forced into it, so there was no ifs or buts. It was sort of it needed to happen.
For
So
what reason? What reason though? Where
uh,
were you for that growth to make that happen?
well, we were riding good money, but I'd lost my license, so I had to have someone come on board to help me, get to appointments. So, which look, taking a positive from a negative, it was
Totally right. Making lemonade.
hey, we're making lemonade. That was it. So we're forced into it. But at the end of the day, it actually was probably one of the, I wouldn't say the best things that happened to me, but it was definitely something that helped my business. Like,
Mm.
it made me work harder because I had the responsibility for someone else. And I just, yeah, there was no plan B. I had to jump into it. But going forward, it's about, that those initial fear, and then once you get into that comfort zone with that individual, and you sort of humming along, you know you can do it because everyone's got that initial, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough, or I don't know if I can do this. How's this going to work? But once you get into a rhythm, and look, it's taken me a few team members to get to where we are today, and getting the right people because everyone's got a different personality, everyone's got different goals and vision for where they want to be. So I think there's so many things that were going through my head, whether or not I'd be a little bit immature at the time or whatever it may be. Am I a good enough leader to be, leading the ship, steering the ship? And can I actually? What do I have to teach these people? How can I help them grow? Um, so there's so much going through, but yeah, I was forced into it.
But I think also you make some really good points there in relations to when it's just yourself. We can come up with all the excuses and all the reasons of why we shouldn't make that extra phone call, do that extra door knock, or whatever that may be. But when we've got someone else on the team, as you said, who you are responsible for, where their wage needs to come out, we need to hit certain numbers in order for the business unit to be profitable and move forward. It takes the emphasis off yourself as the individual agent onto the now, oh wow, we've got further responsibilities. And I think that's a really interesting point because it is a mindset shift. It's the ability to shift that and taking the emphasis off yourself, and then how do we grow the team and how do we focus
Mm.
on the team? Have you had like you've had a number of times, I mean, we've had conversations around that of the ability to take the emphasis off you and go, how can we perform as a team? What would you say to around that? What would be your recommendation on how to make that shift for people thinking about taking on that first team member?
Um, I think it's important to go, okay, yes, there's a financial element to it, like, knowing your numbers, like knowing, okay, if this is what we're going to be doing, this is what we need to hit, this is where we need to be, and am I committed to do that?
Mm.
As I said earlier, you're in business or in whatever you're doing, you need to be. I'm a strong believer that if you're going to do it, you need to do it well, because otherwise it's a waste of time, and time is something that you can't get back. So, if you're not going to be committed, not do the best job you possibly can, then I'd suggest maybe get into a different industry and find what your calling is. But I know for me, and if anyone else was to look at starting a team, I think there is some really big wins to be had. As I said earlier, watching someone grow and knowing that you're a part of that and you're helping them become, better versions of themselves is really, really rewarding. And it almost opens your eyes to other avenues of what you can do with business. Because once you've got a team that's running really well, it's a lot easier, it's funner, and the financial element comes as long as your direction, your vision, and your routine's right. That element will come. But yeah, I definitely, having a team is probably is the best thing that's happening in my business. And I'm really lucky and grateful that we've got a really good team and the support network here.
Love it. Love it. And let's get a little bit granular in relations to your week with with what you do, how you set up your meetings? What does that look like? What's that communication between you guys look like? Or can you run us through an average week
Yeah.
in relations to that?
So the way we sort of structure our week is we'll have a one-on-one every day, every morning. So we just go through where we're at for each day. What do you need from me? How can I help you? Built into that is, how's your morning routine? All those sorts of things. And then on a Monday and on a Friday, they're a little bit bigger. Those meetings are a little bit longer, and they're a bit more in depth with personal things, whether or not, okay, what are we going to achieve for this week? What's the big goal? Okay, I want to do this many, calls or this many exchanges or whatever it may be. Okay, cool. How's your health? How's your, relationship, your family life, and all that sort of stuff? Now that's not being forced upon, but it's showing curiosity. I think that's important with your team members beyond just, someone in the team. It's sort of, okay, well, oh, my routine's not great. Oh, okay, cool. Why is that? What are some steps we could do to maybe make that routine a bit better? Do you want me to text you at 6 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, how are we going? You go, up? Are we doing it? What's going on? Like, doing those little things and showing that you care about the team members ultimately helps them, but it also helps the business, right? Because they know that they're a part of something greater. But that morning routine for us is really good, and we loop it back at the end of the day with, how did we travel? Is there anything I need to follow up with you? How we go for today? So that's every single day. That's sort of our routine and clear communication. Our team are big on emails. If it's not urgent, they'll flick an email because they know I work off my emails. So if it's not urgent, then I'll get to it. If it is, then they'll ring me, so I'll know that it's something more urgent. And we sort it through that way.
Fantastic. I mean, what I'm hearing is the biggest thing is that communication piece is having those touch points, ensuring that, where are we at? What's the focus? Where do we need help? Allowing that to be a daily part of your routine, I think really sets you apart, because a lot of times I've seen leading agents, they're so busy just running where they're not stopping and checking in to see where the team is at, and like, come on, we've got to link arms and get through these walls together, because otherwise the leading agent is busted through the walls and turn around and go, well, where's the rest of the team? They're not there.
100%.
So I think that's really important, that communication piece. So what's coming up for you, mate? What's the next 6-12 months look like for you? Where's your focus?
For us, I think it's we're getting better and better. So just refining and sharpening the sword with our business. Hayley's role's growing as well, so it's exciting to see her sort of become more of a business manager. So she's growing, and we're sharpening the sword there. And on my side of things, our business the momentum's there. So it's really exciting to see sort of the next 6 to 12 months, to be reviewing it in July next year or June next year to see how we perform for this financial year will be really exciting. It'll be really cool to see sort of how we've progressed. We possibly may even have a new team member come in. So, the team's probably going to get bigger over time. But it's exciting to see how many more opportunities are out there for us, and just really keep doing the best possible business that we can and sticking to what we're about, our values and our morals, and making sure that we do good business and help more and more people over the next 12 months. That's what we're excited about.
Love it. Awesome, mate. Stokesy, really appreciate it. Love chatting to you. Always full of energy, full of excitement, full of knowledge. Mate, thank you for jumping on today, and really appreciate it.